I'm honored and privileged to represent the 1st District of New Mexico and thrilled to work at giving all tribes a seat at the table. My door is always open to you. I'd like to now transition to putting on my organizer hat. You may know that I have worked on campaigns for several decades, during which time I dedicated much of my organizing career to getting out the Native vote, through phone calls, door knocking, and building trust for our party in Indian communities across my state. Considering that this 2020 election is the most important election of our lifetime, and I know that we say that every single year, but this truly is, we must win the White House if we intend to protect our democracy and our environment even into the near future. I decided to be bold and to put all of my experience and heart behind a candidate who I feel has the intelligence, the experience, the energy, enthusiasm, and the heart to win this election for working families, for students, for people of color, for our LGBTQ communities, for teachers and veterans, for Indian country, and everyone who has been sidelined by this administration. Let me share with you about my decision to endorse Elizabeth Warren for president. For the past couple of years, I've had the opportunity to get to know Senator Warren personally. We have spoken often about the needs in Indian country, and she has taken action legislatively. She personally helped me get elected to Congress. We've worked together to introduce legislation calling for universal child care in pre-K and for suitable housing for our families. I've seen her up close, conversing with tribal leaders and tribal youth, listening and asking the questions that move deep thought and ideas forward. Elizabeth's just released Truly Bold Tribal Plan is one that will give all tribes the executive attention they need and deserve, and will move forward all the legislation I just talked about and more. But beyond all the great policy plans and intentions, we share perspectives in how we look at the world. We both come from humble beginnings and found success through hard work and perseverance. We both were single moms, and we understand what it means to live paycheck to paycheck, struggling to make ends meet. And as a former state party chair, I know a winning candidate when I see one. One of my favorite things about Senator Warren is her ability to explain complicated plans and concepts into language that all of us can understand. She is genuine and warm, and she makes every moment count in her fight for working families. Some media folks have asked me whether the president's criticisms of her regarding her ancestral background will hamper her ability to convey a clear campaign message. I say that every time they ask about Elizabeth's family, instead of the issues of vital importance to Indian country, they feed the president's racism. Elizabeth knows she will be attacked, but she's here to be an unwavering partner in our struggle, because that is what a leader does. I say the president who worships Andrew Jackson, who coddles white supremacists and defends Vladimir Putin, who cages children and freely admitted to assaulting women, is no match for a woman with a plan. I understand that throughout our history, our people were kidnapped, shipped off, assimilated, and adopted out as infants. Families and communities were separated, and sometimes lifetimes went by without them finding one another again. What I'm saying is, she has found us. I'm asking you to listen to her message. I'm asking you to join me in my mission for the working families champion, the woman who doesn't walk but runs through train stations and airports, the fearless and persistent legislator, the defender of our environment, the friend to teachers and students alike, and beating the current occupant of the White House. She has a plan for that. And I'm proud to support and introduce the amazing, the unstoppable, my sister in the struggle, Senator Elizabeth Warren.
So much.
Elizabeth.
Thank you so much. I'm so honored. Thank you.
Marcella LeBeau and Donna Brandis escorted Elizabeth Warren to the stage.
Can I just say hello? Yes, dear. Good to see you. Hello. Good to see you. Hello, sweetheart. So good to see you. Hello to everyone. Hello. I want to pay my respects. That's an extraordinary introduction, and I feel so cared for by the women who walked me out. Thank you very much. Deb, thank you for the generous introduction. Deb has been such a good partner and such a good friend. And I stand here and I see so many people I've had a chance to work with on issues like preventing suicide and missing and murdered Indigenous women and trying to get full funding for health care and for housing. I see young leaders who come and talk to me about the new businesses they're starting on tribal lands, graduates of our tribal colleges who have innovative ideas, tribal leaders who remind me every day how much our tribes serve their citizens and their neighbors. The message I hear from Indian country is one of resilience and hope. Now, before I go any further in this, I want to say this. Like anyone who's being honest with themselves, I know that I have made mistakes. I am sorry for harm I have caused. I have listened and I have learned a lot. And I am grateful for the many conversations that we've had together. It is a great honor to be able to partner with Indian country. And that's what I've tried to do as a senator, and that's what I promise I will do as President of the United States of America. The federal government's history with our tribal nations has been one of broken promises. We need to make change. We need to honor our trust and treaty obligations to the Native tribes. And we're not going to do that with one little statute over here and a couple of changes in regulations over there. It's going to take big structural change. That's how I see this. Think of it this way. Full funding for housing, for health care, for education, for infrastructure. Those are not optional. We need to change the rules and make it happen. Government to government relationship, that is not optional. We need to change the rules and make it happen. And missing and murdered Indigenous women, to talk about particularly on this day, this is a crisis, and tribal sovereignty and full funding so that tribes can keep people safe is not an option. We need to change the rules and make it happen. Big structural change. That's what Congresswoman Haaland and I are fighting for. Big structural change so that everyone has a chance to build a strong future. Thank you for having me today. It's an honor to be with you. Thank you. Thank you.